Hi, I'm Rob Longley, a geologist and the Managing Director of Asra Minerals. Asra Minerals, ASX code ASR, is a multi-commodity junior explorer looking for gold, rare earths and lithium in Western Australia. We've recently completed a $2.5 million placement to raise funds, and Paul Summers, my Executive Chairman, and myself have both put money into that. We are really confident with how Asra is going into the new year, and we're putting our money where our mouth is. And also we're a feeder. I've just come back from a week on site at our lithium projects in the Yilgarn area of Western Australia, and it's really easy to get to. We just drive out there and we're straight into it, mapping and looking at the pegmatites coming out of the granites into the greenstones. It's a really exciting area, and there's a lot of activity at our new project, which is called Lake Johnson. It's south of Kalgoorlie, and it's in between two big lithium mines. So this is a really exciting lithium province where other juniors are making a lot of good discoveries in the area. So what we've been doing at Asra over the last 12 months is building up the business, adding projects into the portfolio. Our flagship project is still Mount Sterling, which is a gold and rare earth deposit at the Leonora region of Western Australia, but we've added two lithium projects in the southern area of Western Australia. That's the Lake Johnson, where I've just been to, and also the Lake Cowan project. So these projects are really easy to get to. We're concentrating on one of the best jurisdictions in the world. There's so much happening in the southern area of Western Australia with mines and exploration. This is a really exciting time to be involved. So Asra is basically still golden roots and lithium shoots. That's what we're doing. We've raised good funds, and I'm working with our new exploration manager, John Harris, who's also been with me in the field for the last week, looking at how we prioritise our drill programs. We're going to start with a drill program on our gold projects. We can't ignore the fact that the gold price is really hanging well above 2,000 US an ounce, and there's a lot of activity in the Leonora region with gold. So we're going to concentrate on gold while we're still doing our metallurgy and ore body modelling on the Ytria clay-hosted rare earth project, which is also at Mount Sterling. So a lot happening there, and there'll be more news flow coming soon. So stay tuned for more news at Asra. Okay, here comes the first question. Tell us about the recent capital raise. The recent capital raise we did was well received, and we put about $2.5 million in the bank. That includes some director funds, so both Paul and myself and our other non-executive director, Matt Longworth, have all contributed. That's out of our own pocket. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We're not taking any loans or anything like that from the company. We're really excited about the future of Asra and what we're building here. And so we'll start the new year well funded, ready to go, exploring in our northern and southern hubs. So next question I can see there is, you've started drilling preparations for Little Wonder, which is one of our gold projects at Mount Sterling. How come we picked this one? Well, we've been looking at Mount Sterling for some time. Gold ultimately is where we started as Torian, and it's where a lot of shareholders came in for Asra, and we haven't forgotten about it. We've been studying the belt all the way from Gawler up through into Red 5 and onto our ground. It's a really prospective gold area. And we think Little Wonder is an area which hasn't been drilled before, and it's easy to go for the highest grade areas. It's a very high grade deposit, which is on a splay off of the main fault. And we think by drilling there, we will find some really interesting information about how gold forms in this area. If you understand the Leonora region, there are many big gold deposits all the way from Gawler up through Tower Hills, Harbour Lights, Kalis, and up to Red 5 with Jasper in between. And most of these pits run at about 1.72 grams maybe. But in amongst these are really high grade pods, and Trump was one of them. And that's right next to the Kalis pit, just north of Leonora. So we think that while we're drilling a high grade pod, it may lead us towards a larger deposit. We really believe there's another King of the Hills on our property or nearby, and we're not forgetting about our golden roots, and that's why we're putting the drill bit, don't drill, don't discover, onto the gold property. There's some more questions coming through, so I better catch up. How has exploration been going at Lake Johnson, which is our lithium project just south of Kalgoorlie, in between, it's really out of Norseman where we're based. So we have a base in Kalgoorlie. It's about a 2-hour drive down to the property at Lake Johnson. And I spent all of last week out at Lake Johnson with our new exploration manager, John Harris, walking the land. We probably walked about 10 Ks all around the lake and across, looking for which areas are going to be amenable to soil sampling and which are just cover. And also understanding the geology. There's some really good outcrop of some small pegmatites within the granites, and we're looking for where those may be heading out into greenstones. This is an exciting area where obviously companies like Charger and TG Metals and others, there's quite a bit of activity down there at the moment. There's drill rigs there. There's dormant camps that we can use, even though we're camping out in the bush at the moment. So it's an early exploration project, and I think there's still some big discoveries to be made in that region. That's going to be the catalyst really for Asra, is making the discovery in that region, just as TG Metals have at their deposits, and we've got some pegmatites up near us, which we're looking closely at. Can we expect to hear further developments on the rare earth front soon? We've been saying for a number of months that the results are 3 weeks away. Yep, that's true, and we apologise for the long delay in delivering those, but what we are trying to do with rare earth metallurgy is get it right, get it definitive, and not just put out 1 or 2 samples when they look good or look bad. There was a slight delay at the beginning of our metallurgy. Once we submitted the labs, we got into some really serious talks with a couple of strategic partners, and it was a decision of whether or not we enter into a relationship with those investors before metallurgy or after. And during those a couple of weeks or several weeks of discussion with those really well-educated rare earth strategic partners, we decided that it was in the best interest of the shareholder for us to go it alone for the time being. The terms that they were offering weren't, we thought, in the best interest of Asra shareholders. So that caused a bit of a delay in the rare earth metallurgy. The other complication, interesting complication and good complication with the metallurgy is scandium. Scandium is perhaps the highest value element within the deposit and the largest. And so having scandium as your background and your add-on to a rare earth deposit is something quite different. As you may have seen recently, there's a lot of strategic investors now looking at scandium. Rio Tinto bought a scandium deposit in New South Wales last year. And we have leads into international investors which are looking carefully at the rare earth, critical minerals and scandium in particular space. We have good contacts in France, for example, and many people have seen yesterday, France is now doing bilateral defence agreements, as well as in October, France entered into a bilateral agreement with both Canada and Australia to secure critical minerals, which includes rare earths, lithium and scandium in particular. France is well advanced, and in this sector, they've got good technology and they desperately want to be involved with Australian exploration. So we're working on all those fronts and trying to get metallurgy right. Next question. What are Asra's plans for the first few months of 2024? That's what I'm working at the moment with our new exploration manager, John Harris, so that he can absolutely focus on our field teams and our various programs between the northern and southern hubs that Asra now have. We have over 1,100 square kilometres of tenements that we're going to work hard. So early in the new year, we'll have people back out at Lake Johnson, basically mapping, doing soil sampling where it means something rather than just over the cover, and building up our anomalies there for drill targets at Lake Johnson. In conjunction with that, we'll also be doing some mapping out at Lake Cowan and looking at possibilities in that area to aggregate more ground, both between Lake Johnson and Lake Cowan. Just by being in that area and having a sizable package, I mean, we have over 400, 500 square kilometres now in the southern Yilgarn belt, which is a hot property for lithium. That, in many instances, is a company maker. So we're going to build on that package there and make this a really important critical minerals package part of Asra. Meanwhile, as we announced this morning, we're not forgetting about our golden roots, and we'll be doing a drill program up at Mount Sterling. That program will be about 2,000 metres, specifically at Little Wonder. But if we have room in the budget, the opportunity, and some feedback from the rare earth modelling, which is still going on at Itria, we may move that rig up into Itria and test a few extensions of the rare earth corridor not far away. So this is all on the Mount Sterling project. We've got gold, rare earth, scandium, everything going on there. So we're going to keep the drill bit running there as much as possible. And on other fronts, as I say, we're looking for aggregation. There's a lot happening in Leonora, and there's a lot happening down at Kokaini. So business development-wise, with an exploration manager now really running the team, I've got the opportunity to spend more time on corporate development and look for what's going on in the region. So hopefully that covers what we've got planned initially, but it's going to be busy. How has John Harris settled into the role as exploration manager? Very well. John's a mature geologist with a lot of experience in Western Australia. He's lived in Kalgoorlie for, I think he told me, 16 years. So he's well connected there. We just spent 5 days travelling between Lake Johnson, Lake Cowan, Widgiemooltha, all these places out to Mount Munga, Kalgoorlie, up to Menzies, and everywhere we stopped, he knew a lot of people and has a lot of contacts. So he's really straightening up our relationship with the mines department and our strategic partners. He'll be doing all the permitting, which he's very au fait with. His recent job at Northam was really successful in bringing in Chalice as a joint venture partner. and he's going to really carry a big load and keep the team moving. So John's working out well. He's going to really carry the legwork with the focus from the board with him and be a great asset to the company. How prospective do you think Lake Johnson is, given it's so close to TG Metals? Well, I think Burmester and some of these other pegmatites that have been discovered down there are just the tip of the iceberg. This is a rich system. If you look at basically nearby, you've got Covalent with over 100 million tonnes, a big deposit there. And of course, Bald Hill, which is now MinRes, is a massive deposit as well. And there are going to be more discoveries. What we're doing at Lake Johnson is really what we were doing in gold in the 80s, starting to look for big gold deposits undercover. And that what we're doing down here now, which is a nickel area, there's a lot of data available, some of it a little bit dated, is using new technology, new instruments in the field to find lithium. If we happen to find nickel or gold deposits as well, because they're all in there together, that'll be fantastic. So I think that area is really hot, and there's going to be more discoveries made in the lithium sector. Will you be looking for more tenements in the goldfields next year? Absolutely. We're always looking for projects which we can add to the portfolio and make it more exciting. I guess when I started here, it was really just a gold project that had discovered rare earths on the same ground. And I saw the opportunity there to build the team and expand the company and make it more interesting and potentially more valuable for investors to come into. Will a rare earth project on a small property be sufficient to get your market cap up really high? Possibly, but to do that, you need other portfolios as well. And it was easy. I mean, I've got a lot of experience in lithium. I'm on the GT1 board, understand the lithium sector in North America. There is a lot of demand out there. And these big companies rely on junior explorers to go out there and make discoveries. So we're doing all the hard yards, and that's where investor return will come. If we make a discovery, that's where you'll get your real big investment returned on it. So we're always looking at more tenements. Tenements have been brought to us now that we've got a footprint in those areas, and we're screening through those, working out which ones we can afford, which ones make sense, and which ones the terms aren't really interesting on and we'll turn away. So there's a lot happening in that area. There's a lot of people which are sitting on tenements, looking for people to buy them off them that aren't working them. So we're looking at joint ventures potentially, or earn-ins, all those structures on ground which is highly prospective for lithium or gold or rare earths. Questions are flying fast. What's your take on the global demand for lithium at the moment? Well, it's intense, I think. There's a little bit of a block at the high end to contain supply and new projects coming in. But if you look at the sort of investments coming in at the top end, there's huge demand. There's huge demand from China, obviously. There's huge demand from North America. And as I said before, Europe is looking to invest as well, as are the South Koreans. You know, there's a lithium property not far from us, just south of Coolgardie, where a South Korean company have come in at a very early stage based on just a couple of good drill intercepts. So you're finding the investment interest is there right through from early exploration through to near producers or producing mines. So we're very confident that we've got lithium in the right park. Okay, the questions are drying up, so that's good. I'm happy to answer any more afterwards. You can always contact me at Asra Minerals, either through the info@asraminerals.com.au line or call the office. We try and pick up the phone. There's a mobile phone in there that we answer. I'll give you that phone number if you want it. It's 9420-8208. Someone will answer your call, and if I'm not available, we will call you back. We always talk to one shareholder or one group. We always return calls. And we take feedback as well. You know, the market's tough at the moment. And we understand people. I just went out and came back through streaming, so sorry if you lost me there for a sec. But yeah, we're really excited about the future of Asra. We're building a portfolio, and we think 2024 is going to be a really exciting year. And we're keen to get your feedback and keep us honest and keep us steered in the right direction in the new year.